Welcome to Brandstorm, the podcast that talks to the people behind America's brands. I'm Dan Trzynski, president of Platypus Advertising and Design.
And I'm Nancy Christopher, PR director at Platypus. Dan, I know you're going to agree with me on this. I love it when we get to talk to a young entrepreneur.
Always fun.
Today's guest believes that the amount of time spent on a wakeboard, skateboard, or surfboard is definitely directly proportionate to quality of life. So welcome to Brandstorm, the founder of Whirly Board, Erik Olsen. It's great to have you with us, Erik.
Hey, thanks for having me.
So what's a Whirly Board?
So it's a balance training board that I invented a few years ago, kind of to help you build your skills for board sports. Something I've always enjoyed were board sports. And I had an old balance board. Actually, it was a homemade one, too, where I just had a PVC pipe and a piece of wood and kind of got bored with it and had the idea that if I could make something that would let me spin, it would be a little more fun. And, you know, you can always spin further, so there's really no end to how good you can get at it. So I started throwing some things together in the garage and ended up with the Whirly Board.
So wasn't the first one, didn't you cut a bowling ball in half?
I did, yeah. Yeah, because I wanted a half sphere in the middle so that I could rotate on it, and I figured the only thing I could think of that existed that was solid like that was a bowling ball. So I went to the local Lake Mills bowling alley, and they had an old broken one that they gave me, and I sawed it in half and dremelled it out so it fit on the skateboard deck, and it was a long process.
So what makes yours different from other balance boards? What did you add to it that inspired you?
Well, like I said, I had the PVC pipe one, and a lot of the balance boards you see are just that cylinder style where you kind of roll back and forth on the cylinder, and I just felt it was kind of limiting and boring. By adding the sphere, it added the ability to spin, and then on each end I added two more smaller spheres, which at the time I used pool balls, which I cut in half too in my garage. And then that gives you 3 balance points, and so you can rotate on all three of them. You can kind of walk it around between two and between three, and it just kind of adds a lot more of a dynamic than just the back and forth roller style.
I'm looking at one here, and looks really solid. Are there any weight restrictions on this? I mean, it looks like just about anybody could stand
Pretty
on
much,
this.
yeah. When I first started building them, I tested it by running it over with my Jeep, and nothing happened, and I've thrown them off the roof of my house, and I built them to last forever. So, I mean,
it really looks quality.
If you're over 350 pounds, you're probably not going to want to step on a balance board anyway.
Probably not.
No.
We just set it at 350 as our recommended weight limit.
Okay.
I think one of the really great things about your Whirly Board is it has other uses.
Yeah.
It's not just about, getting better at your board sports. Tell us about some of the vertical markets that you've found.
Yeah, and that's kind of cool because when I built it, I was kind of one-track mind. I wanted something to have fun with for board sports, but then as more and more started getting out there, people started getting back to me with using it for fitness, like doing push-ups with it. You can kind of rotate it back and forth to use different muscles in your push-ups. People like to use them at their standing desks. You can kind of tilt it down and stretch your calves out and just keep your legs active throughout the day. Kids really seem to enjoy them too. I've done a few events over the years, and kids are usually in the booth just fighting over it. We usually have to implement a rule where if you fall off 3 times, the next person gets to go because otherwise they'll just be there all day.
Right.
What are some of the benefits of having a Whirly Board with your standing desk?
Really just kind of the whole purpose of the standing desk is to keep your body active as opposed to sitting hunched over in a chair. And so the Whirly Board just adds one more aspect of motion to your day while you're standing at your desk. You can balance on it, you can stretch your legs out, you can kind of rock back and forth, and that's one nice thing about it too is you can move it around and walk it around so you're not stuck at your desk. You can stay on it and walk it over to the copy machine and then walk it back to your desk. Those are kind of advanced level stuff.
Hopefully not take a header right through your computer screen.
I was going to say, I would pay
Nancy,
to see you try that.
No, Nancy, you are not allowed.
I would pay to see you try it. You're not going to be able to do it either.
It takes some getting used to, but it's not too bad.
All right. What kind of, you mentioned push-ups. What kind of exercises can you do with Whirly Board?
Aside from that you can just do like squats, single leg squats. You can do kind of agility type workouts. Like I was saying, you can walk it around by tipping, using the outer balance points. You can lift up onto those, move it forward, and kind of walk it across the room and back. And so even you can get like a cardio workout. If I put on a serious whirly session, I can work up a sweat in like 15 minutes.
Wow. I would imagine you could use it as a yoga tool too.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, anytime you're balancing on something, it's increasing the interaction of your core, so it's going to be that much more effective in whatever you're doing.
So, what are the challenges of launching a new product like this?
Everything.
Let me count on it.
Yeah, geez, I think the biggest challenge for me is when I wake up in the morning trying to figure out what I should do that day, because there's all these things that need doing, and it's hard to say, well, this one, what should I work on marketing? Should I work on record keeping? I'm not very good at that. I usually end up just heading out to the shop and building whirly boards and coming up with new ideas and stuff like that, and working on other inventions too.
Has it had good response?
Yeah, absolutely. We're up 400% this year over last year, and it's mostly word of mouth. I haven't really done much advertising, so to speak, other than putting it on Amazon and putting it in places like that. But I've gotten pretty much 100% 5-star reviews, except for one person said it was too hard for him, but that wasn't the product.
That's excellent.
That was him.
Yeah.
You got a lot of YouTube videos too, I noticed.
Yeah.
That's there's some great videos on the site. Are they all yours, or are customers creating their own videos at this point?
I wish customers would create a little bit more.
There's
but
a challenge.
Yeah, most of them are mine. I want to do some kind of contest or something where people post their own content and they can win something, snowboard trip or something like that.
Yeah, that would be fun.
Yeah.
There's a lot of imagination that go into your videos themselves of the different things that you can do with it. So.
Right, yeah, and I know I'd like to see what kind of creative things other people are doing, because it's got a lot of potential, and I think some kids that are even a lot more talented than me would be able to do some crazy stuff with it.
And I see you can customize the whirly board as well. How do you do that?
Yes, once a lot of people started showing interest for their standing desks, I decided it'd be kind of just a unique thing to put people's company logos on it. So I've always used clear skateboard grip tape, and I just put the Whirly Board sticker under that, and it shows through. So I just get custom stickers made of whatever company wants to get their logo on it. I'll have a custom sticker made, put it on, and then I do like 4 or 5 or however many people in the office want one.
So as companies are buying more and more standing desks for their employees, they can package that with this.
Exactly.
And also put some corporate branding on it.
Right. Yeah.
That's
and
cool.
Some people have used them as corporate gifts too. So
Sure.
kind of a unique thing to give to your customers with their logo
Or
on
your
it.
staff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Either or.
Eric, at this stage of the game, what's your biggest need? There's people out here who might be able to help you. What do you think your needs are to take you to the next level?
Well, I don't know. I think it's kind of starting to happen naturally if things keep going as are expected. But, I appreciate when people leave reviews. Every little bit helps there, on whether it's Amazon or the website or any of those things.
This product has a Shark Tanky kind of feel to it.
If
Have
I
you
had
ever considered that?
If I had $1 for every time I've heard that, I'd be retired.
You wouldn't have to sell whirly boards probably.
Right. No, yeah, that's what everybody says, and I might do it. It's just, I don't know, I kind of have this thing like that's what everybody says, so I don't want to do it.
Okay.
But that's just how I am, I guess. I'm kind of stubborn that way.
You mentioned Amazon and, of course, your website.
Yeah.
Are these the main distribution points, or
Basically, Amazon website and the Grommet are my pretty much primary channels.
What is the third?
It's called the Grommet. It's that's actually kind of how I got started in the beginning, is they contacted me and wanted to sell it through their site, and I was still building them with pool balls at that time, and I had about 20 ready to go, and they were like, yeah, we're going to sell 100, at least 100, 150 for right before Christmas. And I was like, yeah, right. I sold like 50 this whole year. And I was sold out of the 150 that we scheduled in the first hour.
Wow. That's
kind of
wonderful.
exciting. Yeah.
And Grommet, that's GROMMET?
Yes.
Okay, .com?
Or there might be 2 T's. No, just 1 T.
All right.
Well, we'll look it up and we'll put it in the show notes.
Yeah.
Appropriately.
Yeah, there's just one. But yeah, of course, website is my favorite way to sell them, because it's direct from me, and you can get a lot more options on the website too, different colors, and I put some fish style ones under the grip tape and things like that.
Are you looking for stores, distribution, board shops, those types of things?
Yeah, I mean, I started out doing that when I first started this. I went out to Colorado and visited a bunch of board shops and went snowboarding a bunch too. Which was a good part of that. But it hasn't been a great fit, because I think they're worried about people falling into their racks and knocking down on clothing racks and snowboards and stuff. So it's kind of had more success online plus the shop, then, they want it for 50% margins too. So that makes it a little more challenging for me because I'm just building them all myself in my garage. So it's not I'm not getting them from China for cheap or anything.
Right.
So let's tell everybody what your website is and what's the best way to get in touch with you, Erik.
It's whirlyboard.com, that WHIRLY board. And getting in touch with me is, I guess you can just email me there, or it's just Erik, ERIK, at whirlyboard.com.
All right. Well, thank you so much for joining us today. And I wish you the best of luck.
Thanks a lot.
It's a cool idea. I wish you all the luck in the world.
Appreciate it.
And if you like what you've heard today, please don't forget to review, share, and subscribe to Brandstorm.
This is Dan Trzynski along with Nancy Christopher at Platypus Advertising and Design, an awesome company that creates perceptions that influence choice for a variety of regional, national, and even global brands on a daily basis. We hope you'll join us next week for another episode of Brandstorm.